Hello, everyone, and welcome to May 26th, the Wednesday of the 8th week in Ordinary Time. Today we hear an interesting exchange between Jesus and two of his disciples in the Gospel reading from Mark. James and John goes up to Jesus and they basically ask that when Jesus comes into his glory in heaven, can he guarantee that one can sit on his right or one on his left? And it's kind of, an odd question to be asking. And Jesus says, "You do not know what you are asking. Can you drink the cup that I will drink, or be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized?" And they say, "Oh, of course, we can." And Jesus said to them, "The cup that I drink, you will drink. With the baptism that I have been baptized, so will you. But to sit at my right or at my left is not mine to give." So this exchange got me thinking about this quote from the poet May Sarton. "The cup holds grief and balm in equal measure, light, darkness. Who drinks from it must change." The cup holds grief and balm in equal measure, light and darkness. Who drinks from it must change. This quote seems to fit with Jesus' questioning his disciples as to whether or not they really understand what it means to follow him. Drinking the cup that Jesus drinks means change. It means transformation, becoming something new and different. And that's not always something that's easy or something that we would welcome. In fact, you would remember that Jesus himself prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane the night before he was crucified that, if possible, to allow the cup that he was about to drink to pass him by, because he knew how difficult it would be. Jesus understands that drinking the cup given to us at any given moment of our life might be difficult. So as I was reflecting on all this and thinking about this idea of the cup, it reminded me of a book that I read a long time ago by Joyce Rupp called Cup of Our Life. She writes about how the cup can be a wonderful symbol of our own inner journey, our spiritual journeys. And she writes this: "The cup can be a powerful teacher. The ordinariness of the cup reminds us that our personal transformation occurs in the common crevices in everyday life. The cup is an apt image for our inner growth because it reminds us, the cup reminds us of spiritual thirst. In the cup, we see life with all its times of emptiness or fullness or brokenness or blessing. A cup is about holding something, and yet those contents need to be eventually emptied out so that something more can fill it. And the spiritual journey is like that, a constant process of emptying and filling, giving and receiving, accepting and letting go." And lastly, she says, "Notice the rim of a cup. It is circular, with no beginning or end, a symbol of wholeness. And the spiritual journey is just that, a journey towards becoming whole, a day-to-day process of growing into the person we are meant to be. So, given that, I thought I would invite us into a reflection on the cup of our lives these days. And maybe there's a favorite cup that you have, that you drink your early morning coffee or drink tea later on in the day. Maybe you want to hold the cup as we consider some of these ideas for reflection. So what fills the cup of your life these days? Is it filled with blessings or struggles? And what are they? Take time to name those blessings or struggles out loud. We notice that the rim of the cup is circular, a symbol of wholeness. In what ways are you being called to wholeness right now? Are there any place in your life where you feel things are out of balance and you need to find an inner wholeness or grounding? When we're thirsty, we drink from our cup. And what are you thirsting for right now in your life, in your relationship with Jesus, in your relationship with others, in your relationship with yourself? What are you thirsting for? And what are those thirsts calling you to notice in yourself and how you want to be in the world, how you want to make a difference with your life? As we continue to make our way out of this time of the pandemic, what is the symbol of the cup calling forth in you in terms of what needs to be let go of? What do we need to pour out of our life right now in order to make room for something new, something that's different, something that might be challenging? All those different questions can be something that you can think of right now, or maybe think of in the course of the next several days of this week, how the symbol of the cup is calling you right now. And to always know that the cup of our lives is joined to the cup of life that Jesus lived and continues to live in us. And one thing we know about those who follow Jesus, or those of us who want to grow closer to Jesus, is that one's relationship with Jesus is always about healing, about trust, about walking forward. But not walking forward alone, walking with Jesus. And think about this time, again, as we're coming out of the pandemic, the way forward might seem very uncertain. But one thing we can trust on, one thing we can trust in, is the companionship of Jesus with us. So maybe that can be our prayer these days, to trust that Jesus is on the way with us, even if we feel unsure or afraid. Jesus is the constant amidst all that might feel unfamiliar or frightening. As we take time to think about the cup of our lives, to know that Jesus is there with us as we gaze upon our own lives, walking with us through the blessings and the struggles and everything in between. So as the days become just so lovely, and I'm here in the courtyard right now at St. Charles, and the rose bushes are just, blossoming and bursting forth, I do hope that there is a sense of new life in all of us, as well as we continue to find our way out of this time of the pandemic, and more of us able to be together. So as we move forward together, know that I continue to hold you and all your loved ones close in my prayer, and wishing each of you a deep, deep sense of hope and peace.